On the phone right now, we love this guy. He's going to be here May 30th at the Hard Rock. Every time he comes, he shows up, he shows out. Yeah. People love him. Give it up for Sam Hunt.
Sam Hunt!
Howdy.
Sam, how are you, man?
I'm doing well. Just hanging out here in Nashville, getting ready to get back out on the road. You guys will be our first run out this summer.
Okay.
Nice.
Now, are we on baby watch right now?
Yes, I will be. Should have a new one in the world by the time I make it to you guys, and he will have been here about a week, I think. So,
wow,
that's awesome.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's exciting news. I love that.
Yeah, I'm excited. It'll be. I've heard 2 to 3 is a big jump, so I'm preparing myself for that. But I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so 2 to 3. So 2 to 3 big jump. Who's been telling you that, and what, and exactly what's the big jump? Like, how have they described that to you?
Well, everybody, I mean, you guys have probably heard people say, you go from zone, man-to-man to zone defense. You go from 2 to 3. So I've heard that quite a bit, which makes sense, obviously. But we'll see. My wife comes from a family of 6.
Oh, wow.
So I'm talking to her. It's like, she's like, oh, no big deal. You don't even, until you get to 5 or 6, like you're just cruising. But
How many more do you think you guys are going to have?
Not that many.
I mean, you got to cut it off at some point here because they're already going to be outnumbered.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, my.
That's right. And we started a little later, so if I had started at 23, 24, I might be up for.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Now, I have a 1-year-old, and the thing that I have to watch all the time is the Bubble Guppies. So what is that cartoon or show that your kids love the most that it's on repeat all the time?
Let's see. She does have the little show on Netflix about this girl that has a horse. It's called Spirit.
Oh,
and so
Spirit, yeah.
She's pretty, although she doesn't have anything to compare it to because that's really all she's ever watched, but she's pretty obsessed with Spirit and a little girl, Lucky, that rides Spirit.
All right, there we go. Now I got something to look forward to.
There you go.
A new show.
Yeah.
Sam, I saw an Instagram post you put out the other day, not too long ago, and you're just holding a snake like it's no big deal. Is that some snake you just found in the wild and you just randomly picked up?
Yeah, I was getting him out of the road. He was in the middle of the road, and snakes they won't live very long if they're stretched out in the road. But in the spring they'll get out there because the pavement's warm and they're trying to warm back up. But my dad grew up, like when we were growing up, he had to catch every single snake we saw, and so I have this childhood sort of nostalgia for snakes. I know that's odd, but
yeah, you're a weird guy, Sam. Weird guy.
Have you ever been bit?
I got bit in 2nd grade walking to the lunchroom from my 2nd grade class, and I picked up a snake while I was walking to lunch. That my teacher was mortified.
Yeah.
and I got bit by the snake, and she went into panic mode. Of course, it was just a little garter snake, so there was no harm done. But I mean, she had me. We were to the principal's office, the nurse. It was a whole thing. But that's the only time really I've been bit.
But let me ask you a question. So you drive down the road, you see a rattlesnake. Are you just leaving it? You got to.
Oh yeah. No, I poisonous snakes. I don't fool with them. And usually, if they're anywhere near where people live, I'll help get rid of them.
Yeah, exactly. Get rid of them. Relocate them, as they say.
Yeah, right.
You should do the Python challenge here in Florida. They have every year.
Yeah, down
really
in the Everglades. Yeah, they go down. They try to see who can catch the biggest python.
No, those guys are on a different level. I see them dive off into swamps and into the dark marshes to chase those snakes, and I draw the line there.
Yeah,
thank goodness.
Good man. Talking to Sam Hunt right now. Going to be at the Hard Rock on Friday. You said you're excited to get back out on the road. You get to bring the family sometimes, but not all the time, especially when you're going to have a newborn. Give me some highlights of what you love about being back out on the road.
Of course, I love hanging out with my social life. Really begins and ends with my crew and band. So that's my chance to get back out and hang with the guys and catch up and just sort of hang more than obviously I get to when I'm back at the house, either in the studio or helping with the babies.
Are you a big gambler? You're playing at the Hard Rock. I mean, you play poker or
blackjack?
No, I don't fool with it. I used to play one of the games. What's the one where you pick the number and spin the wheel?
Roulette?
Yeah.
Sounds like you're pretty good at it, Sam.
Well, I thought I had a scheme figured out, and I did win for a little while, but I think I lost one night. I lost like $300 in like 2 minutes or 5 or 10 minutes. So I'm out.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's how gambling works.
That's it.
Yeah, they get you eventually.
Sam, you talked about being in the game for about 10 years now. Can you go back? Because I think of the Montevallo album and that tour and all that, and just think about the whirlwind and how you kind of were thrusted into our lives with country music. I know you've been grinding for a little bit, but can you describe that whirlwind for us? Because I think the behind the scenes for people of what it felt like to be you in that moment, where you were just the venues were growing, the popularity was growing, and everybody wanted a piece of Sam Hunt. Can you describe that time in your life?
Yeah, it's you go from, like, I grew up in a small town, so I knew most everybody in my small town, and that's manageable. But when all of a sudden your people around the country are aware of you and sort of feel like they know you because they've spent time with your music, and there is a relationship there that naturally can happen. But you don't know necessarily them. So as you're traveling, you're meeting people who feel like they know you, and you're having these interactions, and you want to be the best version of yourself for them, and you just you're from New York to LA to Seattle to North Carolina in like a span of 7 days, and you've met 1,000 people, 2,000 people, 5,000 people. It's your head starts spinning a little bit after a while, but you're grateful, and you're enjoying making music, and you're enjoying the success that you're having, because obviously, like you said, you worked hard to get there. But yeah, it's just hard for your brain to keep up. So it was a whirlwind, but eventually things sort of settled, and I think I caught up, or at least maybe the world slowed down. That process slowed down a little bit for me, but it was fun. It was wild. It was a crazy time,
dude. It was a crazy time to watch. I gotta say, I mean, it was just because like you said, people feel like they know you because that album Montevallo was huge. You're pouring your heart out to people, and we're learning about you and learning about your past, and there were some hard hitters on that album. Anything you would tell yourself now if you could go back of maybe how to handle it a little bit better? Not that you handled it bad. Not that you handled it bad by any means.
No, yeah, I could have handled it a lot better. I think I would. Let's see, just I don't know. That's a really good question. Honestly, I haven't sat down to really process like that whole. I've been sort of just full steam ahead since then. But I did honestly. I felt like I really lived it fully. That whole process, and experienced it. So although there are some things I would change, I don't think I could have experienced it much deeper than I did.
All right, brother.
I love that.
Hey, man, that's a good way to feel about that too. So it's awesome. Well, now we're here. You're married. You got a third kid on the way. So things have come a long way, and we're excited to see you on Friday at the Hard Rock. Sam, always appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy, so thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, appreciate you guys having me. Looking forward to seeing you guys in here in a few days.
All right, travel safe. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.